Now I've heard it said that there's always some fellers that thinks he's smarter than the next. Now they was two of these people that folks would always question it, which one was smarter than the other. It was old BobTail, and the other one was the old devil himself. Now BobTail, he was just that. He just plundered around and what have you. And then you had old Slewfoot, the old devil, and we all know what he thinks about himself. So one day, old BobTail said to the devil, "So ain't nobody can decide which one of me and you's the best. So I tell you what let's do. Let's me and you do a little sharecropping. Let's just grow us a big old crop of taters." Devil says, "Okay. How we gonna share it? Being I don't know nothing about no farming." Now in his mind, he thought he was really gonna snooker old BobTail. That's what old BobTail says, "Well, I'll get everything that grows below the ground, and you can have everything that grows above ground." And the old devil said, "Well, that sure sounds good to me." Well, they got to work plowing and planting, and before too long, they had 'em a big old patch of taters planted. And when harvest time come, the old devil he went to work a cutting them tops off. Had a big old pile loaded up, but when he got to town, he couldn't sell them. He couldn't sell them to nobody. And old BobTail, he had the biggest old mess of taters. I mean big old taters like you never did see. But now not to be outdone, the devil says, "I'm done farming taters. Let's me and you raise us some hogs." BobTail says, "All right then." So BobTail and the devil, they got 'em some hogs, and they started into raising hogs. And they had 'em all put together in one pen. Now they fed their old hogs corn and just about anything they could to fatten 'em up. And when killing time come, and the hogs was big enough, the devil said, "How we gonna split these up, BobTail?" BobTail said, "Now devil, I'm gonna give you first choice. Says you take you a hog, and I'll take me out one, and we'll divide 'em up that way. You just take one and place it on your side of the fence, and I'll take one, I'll place it on my side." Now BobTail, he already seen a big old hole in the fence. They kept his pen and old devil's pen separate. And when the devil was deciding which hog he was going to take first, old BobTail, he chucked a big old bunch of corn over in his lot. Now the devil, he went and looked over the hogs, and just like the old devil is, he wanted to cheat BobTail some way or another. So now he reached in and he picked up the biggest and the fattest hog he could find. And he found a big old fat. And it went to squealing and a kicking as old devil throwed him on his side. Then it was old BobTail's turn. He went and he picked him out a hog. He reached in and picked it up, and it let out a squeal right big, and he put it on his side of the fence. Now the devil, he looked around and he picked him out another, and he throwed it over on his side of the fence. Old BobTail, he picked him out another, and he put it over on his side. Then it got down to there was just one hog left, and the devil said to himself, "Now I've got old BobTail, and I've got him good. That's for sure." So he picked up that small hog, and he threw it over in his lot. Now the devil, he's tickled plumb to death as he looked over at BobTail as he kind of scratched his head. He said to himself, "This old devil ain't going to cheat me." He looked over at the devil directly, and the old devil was looking around, and then the old devil hollered at BobTail, "Say, BobTail." BobTail says, "Yeah, old devil, what do you want?" "Now it looks like your hogs are in your lot, but I ain't got no hogs." BobTail says, "Why not, devil?" The devil says, "Well, I fooled around and my fence has got holes in it, and my hogs have gotten in with your hogs." BobTail says, "Well, that's all right, devil. You see, when I picked up my hogs, so I twisted their tails, and I know mine. They've all got twists in their tail. And as far as anybody knows, that old devil's still are yet to this day, trying to find his hogs with them straight tails."